Welcome to Class 16. You've heard me talk about all three of these: chat, Cowork, and code. Today you get the clean map of which one to be in, and why that map just changed underneath us. But first, you owe me two numbers. I asked for them at the end of last class. Number 1, how many minutes you saved across 3 runs of your morning huddle. Number 2, your true active lead count, with long-term care excluded. If you've got them, put them in the chat right now. If you don't have them because you didn't run it, say that too. I'd rather know. So why now? Because in the last few weeks the ground moved, and 2 of those changes affect you directly. 1, your phone got a promotion. Cowork and Code used to be desktop only. Now they run on the phone and in a browser too, and that changes what you can do sitting in a car. 2, the desktop app was redesigned. The layout you learned in an earlier class is gone. There are 2 sections now, and I've mentioned that in passing, but we've never actually walked through it. And while we're in here, the rule I've been giving you all along still holds, and now it has a name. On the desktop, you live in Cowork, not chat. Chat doesn't keep your work. I'm not going to explain the 3 of them myself, because somebody already explained it better than I can. I'll hand you to him, and then I'll show you what each one means at this brokerage. The next piece is explained best by somebody else, so we're sending you to him. Pause here, watch the section on what the 3 products are and which plan gets you what, and then come back. Links in the description. Let's put that on your plan, because this is where people get confused about what they actually own. Chat is on every plan, including the free one. So every single person on this call has chat right now, on your computer and in your pocket. Cowork and Code need a paid plan, and on the desktop app that means Pro or better. On your phone and in a browser, Cowork and Code are still a beta, and they went to Max first. So if you're on Pro and you don't see them on your phone yet, nothing is broken. That's just the rollout, and Pro is next. And I want to be clear about what that means for today. Learn it anyway. These things come down the ladder in weeks, not months. Cowork itself was Max only once, and so is half of what you use now. Do not wait until the button shows up to figure out what you do with it. The agents who already know what they delegate are the ones who get value on day 1 instead of month 3. One more thing he didn't mention, because it just changed. The desktop app was redesigned a few weeks ago. There are now 2 sections, Home and Code. Home holds chat and Cowork together, and you pick which one you're in with the little selector at the bottom of the message box. If you learned the old layout in an earlier class, that's why it looks different. Pause here for his section on chat as a thinking partner. Links in the description. Chat to think. Here is what that means for you. And it is the most important 10 minutes of this class. Chat is the one in your pocket. It is the one every one of you already has. And it is the Claude you should be talking to in the car. Sitting in the driveway after a listing appointment, before the details go fuzzy, open it and talk. What did they say about the price? What's really driving the move? What am I walking into with the son who lives up north? You are not asking it to produce anything. You're thinking out loud with something that remembers. But that only works if it knows who you are. And most of you have never done the one thing that makes it know you. Let me make that concrete, because thinking out loud is not a technique any of us were taught. You just left the appointment. You're in the driveway. You open chat. You hit the microphone, and you talk exactly the way you'd talk to me if I were in the passenger seat. Something like, I just came out of a listing appointment on Pine Ridge. Nice couple, both retired. She's ready to move, and he isn't. They think the house is worth $340. I think it's closer to $310. There's a son up north who apparently has opinions. Help me think about how I handle the price conversation without losing the listing. That's it. No prompt, no formatting, no magic words. And here is what makes it worth doing. You are going to have that exact conversation with yourself anyway, in your head, driving home. And then you're going to forget half of it. Say it out loud instead, and now it's a record. It's a plan, and something that knows the market is thinking about it with you. Now, one honest note about where this goes, because I know what the next question is. The obvious next step is that the note lands and follow up boss by itself, and I want that as badly as you do. But I'm not going to promise you a button that doesn't exist yet. Our connections to follow up boss, to BHHS Connect, and to back office run through the API, they are not a plugin you can just switch on in your phone. So making that automatic is something I have to build, most likely through Zapier. That's on my list, not yours. What's on your list today is the 2 minutes in the driveway. You get the thinking out of your head and captured while it's fresh. I'll work on getting it filed. So here's the whole trick, and it's 3 pieces. 1, your project, Claude is my partner, FSP. That's the folder that holds your permanent context, so you're not reintroducing yourself every morning. 2. Inside it, the foundation block and your starter kit, the BHHS policy manual, the MLS rules, fair housing, and the NA or code of ethics. That's what makes its answers legal and ours, instead of generic internet real estate. 3. Your personal profile, who you are, where you work, what you sell, how you talk. Here's the test, and you can run it in the next 60 seconds. Ask it, tell me 2 things you know about me and my business. If it can't, that file is missing, and every answer it's been giving you has been a stranger's answer. That's items 3 and 4 on the systems check I sent you last week. This is what those items were for. So let's talk about what actually goes in that profile, because most of you are going to sit down tonight and stare at a blank page. Don't type it. Dictate it in one pass and let it clean it up. Tell it how long you've been licensed and what you did before this. The areas you actually work, not the whole county, the streets you know. Whether you're mostly listings or mostly buyers. Your price range, the kind of client you're best with, and the kind that wears you out. What you're trying to build this year, in units and in dollars. What you're bad at and want help with. And then something most people skip, which is the one that changes the output the most, how you talk. Do you write short and plain, or warm and long? Would you ever use an exclamation point? Because if you don't tell it, it will make you sound like a brochure, and everybody can hear it. 10 minutes of dictation, once, and every answer you get from that day forward comes back sounding like you instead of like the internet. Pause here for his section on delegating to Cowork, the 3 real differences. Links in the description. Cowork to Delegate. Now, you already know this one. You just didn't know it had a name. Every single thing we've built since class 13 has been a Cowork job. Job number 1, your morning huddle. 5 calls, 5 long-term care candidates, 5 file fixes on your desk before you sit down. Job number 2, the coma ward. The 5 names a week that leave your active list and go somewhere they'll be looked after instead of ignored. And job number 3, which is where we're going next, the Monday marketing batch. Those are your 3 jobs, and every one of them is a goal you hand over, walk away from, and come back to finished. That's the difference between asking and delegating. Brittany moved 79 leads to long-term care in 1 week doing this. Her daily call list is now only the people actually worth calling. That's what the target looks like. 50 or fewer active, everybody else resting safely, every file readable at a glance. And here's how you catch yourself in the wrong one, because there's a tell. The tell is you doing assembly work. If you asked for something, got it, and then started copying and pasting it somewhere, you were in the wrong mode. A few real ones from our own classes. You asked chat for a listing description, then you retyped it into the MLS yourself. That's a Cowork job, and Cowork could have pulled the property details first. You asked chat which of your leads had gone quiet. Then you went into follow-up boss and tagged them one at a time. That's the huddle, and it does the tagging. You asked for 5 social posts. Then you opened Canva 5 times. Cowork job. Same test every time. The second you find yourself being the courier between Claude and your actual software, stop and hand it the whole errand instead. Asking gets you an answer. Delegating gets you the thing done. Pause here for his section on desktop versus cloud and local files. Links in the description. One clarification, because he said something that matters, and I want you to have it exactly right. Your Claude work folder, the actual files on your actual computer, that's the desktop app. That's where the folder work happens. Now, he's right that a session on your phone can reach those files. But there's a condition, and if you miss it, you'll think it's broken. The desktop app has to be open and connected on that computer, and only the folders you've already connected are reachable. So if you want to fire something off from dinner that touches your files, you have to leave the machine on before you walk out the door. Think about it in advance, and it works. Don't, and it just sits there. And his Google Drive trick is a genuinely good workaround. Put the files in a Drive folder, connect Drive, and now it doesn't matter whether your computer is on. Pause here for his section on building with code. Links in the description. Code to build. And here's what I want to say about this one. You don't have to learn it. I'm not assigning it. I'm showing it to you for one reason, so you know where the things I hand you come from. The agent hub you log into with your PIN, the training videos, the neighborhood market reports, the production numbers on your dashboard, the commission tracker. None of that was bought and none of it was outsourced. It was all built in code, by me, mostly at 5 in the morning. That's what he means by I wish this existed. So when you tell me the hub is missing something, or you wish there were a report for your neighborhood, that is not a big ask, and it is not an imposition. That's a Tuesday. Ask me. So let's make this a decision you don't have to think about. You're in the car, and you want to talk something through. That's chat on your phone. You want to understand a contract clause, or work out how to handle a difficult conversation. Chat. You want a price opinion argued both ways before you commit to it. Chat. Now, you want your morning list built before you sit down. That's Cowork. You want a listing written, the photos ordered, the neighborhood pulled, and the whole thing staged for MLS. Cowork. You want the same job to happen every Monday whether you remember it or not. Cowork. On a schedule. And if what you actually want is a thing that doesn't exist yet, a page, a tracker, a report nobody has built, that's code, and that one's mine. Talk it through, hand it over, or wish it into existence. 3 doors, and now you know which is which. Pause here for his recap, then come back for the assignment. Links in the description. Think, delegate, build. Chat to think. That's your phone, and it starts working the minute it actually knows you. Cowork to delegate. That's your 3 jobs, and the huddle is the one you already have. Code to build. That's mine, and it's how you get finished things. So here's what I want this week. Go make it know you, the project, the foundation block, and your personal profile. Then ask it to tell you 2 things about your business, and don't stop until it can. And do it in chat, on your phone, because every one of you has that one right now with no upgrade and no excuse. Then bring me your 2 numbers next Thursday. I'll say what I said last week, because I meant it. Nobody catches up alone, but nobody can install this for you either. You have to run it. Full credit for the explanation goes to the video we just watched. The link's in the description, and it's worth your 10 minutes on your own time.